How's it going, everyone? I've crapped on the PlayStation Plus Extra Premium and Essential price increases for however long it's been announced at this point, and I'm not gonna stop. Listen, Sony's been doing a lot of BS, and they really need to be called out, especially because Sony also does have this insane hardcore fan base that just will let everything they do slide, and is one of the reasons why they get away with all of this nonsense. But in this video, I'm gonna try to take a somewhat more positive approach. You know what, Sony? What did you say about the PlayStation Plus price increases? Didn't you say something to the effect of it was so you could continue to bring a value to your consumers and PlayStation fans? Well, I got an idea for you. After you offered us Saints Row 2022 Black Desert as the Plus Essential titles for September, I'm gonna tell you how you can actually offer your audience some value. You want to charge them $35 more or whatever it is for Plus Extra? You want to charge them $40 a year more for Plus Premium? Oh, you're gonna be making a lot of money. How about you reinvest that money to actually make the services more worthwhile? And I'm gonna go over 5 things to make Plus Extra and Premium more worthwhile for the price, to make the price increase somewhat worth it. I say somewhat because at the end of the day, I still don't believe that paying to play online should be something that's just accepted on consoles in general. Obviously, it's an Xbox gimmick as well, but at least with Xbox, you can sign up for like Game Pass Ultimate, you'll get Game Pass on PC, you'll get gold baked in there, and it's actually a worthwhile subscription service. But not to get into the war between Game Pass and Plus right now, although the first one is kind of gonna reference Game Pass as well, but let's get right into it. 5 things to go over. First of all, more day one games. Sony does not do this often, as often I should say, as Game Pass does it. Here I am bringing up Game Pass, but guess what? It is the direct competitor and the direct comparison point. I thought Sea of Stars was a nice addition. I thought Stray last year was a nice addition, but we're getting these titles way too few and far between, and it's still the smaller scale games, very much the budget titles. If you're going to $135 a year or $130 a year, you need to add a lot of value to the subscription service. And I look at Game Pass and I'm like, man, they're offering in September, screw the first party stuff. First party is gonna come with is gonna come with Game Pass, but they're also offering Lies of P and Payday 3, 2 brand new releases. I better see in this September update that we get some quality stuff. I don't think we're gonna get Lies of P, and I don't think we're gonna get Payday 3, but at some point I want to see Plus Extra offer more day one titles of bigger titles. I'm not saying we're gonna get Spider-Man 2 on Plus Extra. It's not gonna happen, but there's a healthy balance of titles that you could offer, that you could sign deals for. Look, I see these financial reports. They're raking in some serious cash with Plus Extra. So you telling me Sony can't afford to get some of these titles? I thought Sea of Stars was a nice one, but we need 1 or 2 of those types of games a month. And sometimes we go months without a day one drop. Hopefully that is changing, and Sea of Stars was a little bit different, where Plus Extra generally they offer all of the games at once, but Sea of Stars was actually a game that dropped at the end of August, and they just did a standalone update for Sea of Stars. So hopefully more like that. Hopefully we see stuff at the level of a Lies of P, at the level of a Payday 3. Next year, Xbox Game Pass members are gonna get Persona 3 Reload. That's a $70 game that they're getting with their subscription service. Offer us some value. You need to up the value proposition as far as day one games go. Next up, lengthier periods of games staying on the service, and I'll also add no nonsense like pulling your own first-party game so you can make a quick buck off the Spider-Man Remastered release ahead of the release of Spider-Man 2. We see what you're doing there, Sony. Anybody defending nonsense like that, you're out of your goddamn mind, because there was only one reason to pull Spider-Man 2018 from PlayStation Plus earlier this year. That's so they can make some money off Spider-Man Remastered. It's a first-party game. There is no licensing agreement, at least from what I know, that Sony had to do to get Spider-Man on Plus Extra, because guess what? It's their own release game. You could just offer it on Plus Extra. You know, Sony, maybe you could have done something nice for the consumer that's been supporting you with Plus, like, I don't know, offering Spider-Man Remastered just on Plus Extra on top of its release at $50, which was an egregious price point. Don't even get me started on that. But you could have just offered Spider-Man on there, sure. you wouldn't have made as much money, but maybe it would have softened the blow ultimately of a Plus Extra price increase when we saw us getting value from stuff like Spider-Man Remastered getting at it. Because at the end of the day, Spider-Man Remastered, while the standalone release happened this year, that game initially came out back in 2020 with Miles Morales. It's not even that big of an ass, not that tall of an ass to get Spider-Man Remastered on there when that standalone release happened, but instead, they went the completely opposite direction of pulling the PlayStation 4 version so you wouldn't have the opportunity to play that through Plus Extra, so they could sell you the $50 version that they released on the PlayStation Store. Enough of that. Do not be doing that. I better not see something like when this Horizon Zero Dawn remake, if that ultimately does happen, then be like, alright, yeah, we got this remake coming out, let's pull Horizon Zero Dawn from Plus Extra now. Like, nah, that better not be happening. They didn't end up doing it with Last of Us Remastered for Last of Us Part 1, so who knows? Hopefully they don't do that, but like earlier this year with Spider-Man 2018, I thought that was completely whack. And again, lengthier periods of games staying. Some of these games get added and they're getting pulled really quickly. Like you saw Ubisoft jump on board and offer a lot of their games on Plus Extra, and then now a lot of them are leaving. I get it that these deals have their expiration, but it seems like with Ubisoft, a lot of those games seemingly got signed for a 6-month window, so, you know, maybe a lengthier period on that, and certainly no pulling of first-party games. That Spider-Man thing just upset me so much earlier this year. Next up, as far as Plus Premium goes, and I'm gonna go to the grave with this one. Game trials when the game actually comes out. I am so annoyed by the fact that we have Plus Premium. You want to have game trials on there? Fine. People can make the argument you're paying for game demos. Whatever, it's on there. But how about actually incentivizing the fact that hopefully you can try games before you buy them at the height of their popularity? My goodness, why is Hogwarts Legacy getting a 45-minute trial months after the game comes out? Why is God of War Ragnarok getting a trial months after the game comes out? That trial should be available either day one, or heaven forbid, if we could do something cool and offer a 45-minute game trial for a game before the game comes out. That would only increase excitement for a game like God of War Ragnarok. If people could play for 45 minutes before Ragnarok's release, I don't know if that's a worry on Sony's part of, I guess they don't want to open the floodgates for people getting the game. I don't know how all of that works, but I'm sure they can figure it out or offer some sort of demo for the game. Like, I don't know. They have a lot of money. They can figure it out. But the fact is, you see these trials getting added 6 months, 4 months, even 3 months after the release of the game, when the value of the game, first of all, has dropped off. You're still trying to sell it for 60, 70 bucks, and it's not going on sale that quickly. But at the same time, a game that you're not buying on day one, if it's months after the fact, it loses value. And why is a trial there? So you ultimately can make the decision of buying the game. You want to capitalize that ideally for the consumer's sake and your own sake in pushing the game. Have the trial available right out the gate. Like, I just don't know why that doesn't happen, and they're adding trials months after the fact. Like, trials being a part of a premier subscription service is already a questionable thing, and people will argue back and forth on that. But if you're gonna go that route, enough of this dropping trials months after the game comes out. Like, that is just so whack to me. Another Plus Premium note: better and more frequent Classics updates. There was a stretch of, I want to say, like 6 months where the Classics updates were just straight up trash. Like, bottom of the barrel trash. Now, recently, that has gotten better. Is there work to be done? Certainly. There's still a lot of opportunity to add PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 titles, PSP games, like a Dissidia Final Fantasy, I think that would get people excited. You know, there's a lot of other titles. A GTA Chinatown Wars, that would get people excited. There's a lot of PS2 titles that if you could get them on the Classics catalog, that would get people excited. But right now, while it has gotten better, I'm enjoying the siphon filters of the world getting added. There's a lot of work to be done, and I think we could get some better Classics updates, especially if we're talking about a $40 price hike for Plus Premium. And lastly, we all know this probably ain't gonna happen. Let's be real, probably none of these are gonna happen, and they're just gonna increase the price with no value proposition offered, but PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility and a large catalog of games to go with it. Look, this would be the biggest thing they could do to actually get people excited for Plus Premium. If you're gonna offer PS3 backwards compatibility and actually offer games that are unplayable on PlayStation 4 and 5 right now, you know, the Final Fantasy 13s of the world, because Square Enix hasn't made a collection yet, I'll throw out games like a 3D Dot Game Heroes, the OG Demon Souls, because I see some people want to play that. Hell, let them play it. We want to preserve these games. MGS4, I know it'll probably come out with the Master Collection Volume 2, but there's games like that out there. Bleach Soul Resurrection is a game that I really dug. Infamous 1 and 2, Ratchet & Clank Future, Tools of Destruction, Crack in Time, Into the Nexus, Quest for Booty, Ratchet & Clank All for One. These are all off the top of my head. The Ratchet & Clank HD Collection, we can't play those games on PS4 and PS5. There is just a bevy of games that aren't available through PS3 because of PS3 backwards compatibility isn't a thing. And the thing is, I'm not saying that large catalog of games has to be added right away, but that'll open up a new vault of games that you can rotate in every month, with 3 to 6 games being added on top of the PS2, PS1, and PSP games. That just opens up a vault catalog of titles, and people would get legitimately excited about that. Like, if you announce PS3 backwards compatibility with some sort of plus premium price increase, people would have still been upset. Like, at the end of the day, backwards compatibility should just be something that's available. I'm not saying lock backwards compatibility behind plus premium, by the way. Do not get it twisted. I'm saying you gotta offer that with a large catalog of games, but if you have the original disc, let people just pop in their OG disc like they can do on Xbox, and they're off their merry way. But who knows? Sony these days, you don't even know. They might lock the backwards compatibility behind PlayStation Plus. I don't even doubt that at this point, but you know, that's not what I would advocate for. Obviously, I gotta think about the mind of the consumer, but I also think about, you know, Sony being Sony with some of the stuff they do. But yeah, I just think that would be the ultimate coup de grace that they could do to get people excited about Plus Premium, and Plus in general after this price increase, because I've seen so many comments of people being like, I'm canceling my subscription. Now, at the end of the day, the vocal minority absolutely does exist. We'll have to wait on revenue reports, and, you know, once those come out, and people, I'm sure there's going to be a contingency of people that are just going to be like, oh, yeah, you guys bought it anyway. No, I'm sure the people that are upset about it did cancel, but a lot of people, unfortunately, like, they just keep their subscriptions rolling. Like, that's why subscriptions can be so effective. I just talked to one of my boys as Starfield's coming out, and I was like, yeah, yo, Starfield's gonna be on Game Pass. Legit, this was his response. Oh, Game Pass, is that Xbox thing? I think I have it. He looked up his Game Pass. He's had it for 2 years and hasn't used it. Like, this is what happens when people have so many other things going on that they just keep these subscription services rolling. But that's gonna do it for me. These are just my thoughts. I know some of you guys think I'm being so down on Sony recently, but yo, it's like, I cover PlayStation stuff all the time. PlayStation exclusives are my favorite games. The PlayStation 3 era was probably the height of my fandom of gaming. Obviously, still a big gamer and whatnot, but when the PS3 was out, I also had the most free time available, and I was just a fiend for PlayStation games. Infamous 1 and 2, the Uncharted games, Resistance, you name it, I was playing all of those games. And obviously, the fact that PS3 is not available would, and backwards compatibility hits more so with me than maybe the average person, and that's why I want it so badly. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.